Okay, buds, Mounts of Mayhem is just around the corner, and I have made a whole display showcasing everything new that you need to know about. First off, we have these spears, which everybody has been talking about. Isn't that right, Melbert? So for those of you that haven't watched Minecraft Live and been looking at everything just like me with the spears, Melbert here has got us some materials, and these are everything you're going to need to make the spear. So you just need 2 sticks and all of these items like diamond, gold, iron, and so on. But to get a netherite one, you will need to take the diamond one and smack it on into a smithing table to upgrade it, just like every other netherite thing. Once you have these resources though, you can head over to a crafter and just make it, because it's such a simple crafting recipe. It's literally 2 sticks, just like how you would make like a fishing rod and your ore of choice. So like for here, I have the diamond spear, and it is so sick. The spear is a very, very complicated weapon, but if you put some time into learning it and mastering both of these 2 attacks that it has, you're gonna be quite impressed, because this thing is amazing. So first off, we have the jab attack, which is just the normal, like, you know, you hit stuff with your fist. That is the jab attack, and it does base damage. So let's get our friend Zombie here. We're just gonna bow. Pow! And as you can tell, this netherite one is super duper slow. When I jab it, like takes forever. But if I was to grab the wooden one, bah, so much quicker. It goes so much boom, boom, boom. But of course, the very obvious difference is that this one does like no damage and this one does a lot more. So you're going to be trading off damage for speed. So this wooden one is the fastest spear, but it does the least damage. And on the contrary, this one is the most damaging spear, but it takes the longest to use. So depending on what you're fighting and what materials you have, you really ought to put in some consideration into what type of spear you're gonna craft that fits your situation. And to showcase the second attack for this, I actually need to go to my jousting arena. I made a custom theme song for Mounts of Mayhem, which you can watch on the channel now. This is my custom jousting arena. It's so sick. We have the spectators there up in the stands freaking out. But I have a volunteer here, Mr. Iron Golem. He is actually going to help me showcase the second attack, which is the charge attack. So I'm holding down my right click, which is also just a place block, and you'll see that we go through 3 different animations here. Now, each of these animations have a different name and obviously a bunch of different attributes. First phase for this is the engaged phase, where you lock it down and it kind of just hangs there. And since the netherite spear is the heaviest, you can't really hold it up for that long. We're not strong enough, so this goes down really quickly. But if I get a lighter spear like the wooden one, I can hold it in this position for so much longer, because it's just wood. Hello? Mr. Horse, I'm trying to showcase something. Piss off. And in this engaged phase, you can not only do damage, but you can also knock back. And if there's another player on a horse and you are jousting in an arena like this, and you actually land a hit like that, it will dismount them. Whoa. And they will just be on the ground. And this goes for anything. If you're riding a pig, a strider, it's so sick. And you don't only have to be on a horse. You can do it just by walking. Now, after the engaged phase, we get to tired, where you start to kind of shake a little bit, and that is where you still do damage and you still do knockback, but you no longer have the ability to make players dismount off of their horses or any other type of mob that they're riding. So it's still a good phase, but it could be better. So you have to kind of like time just exactly right before it starts going into that tired animation. And the very last phase is this disengage, as I call it, the American, because you just start shaking this thing a whole bunch. And in this stage, you can only deal damage. You don't have any knockback. You don't get any dismountable anything. It is literally like the worst of all of the charge attacks. And not only is something like jousting just super cool overall, but the fact that the charge attack is actually based on your speed. So if I'm charging at this guy on a super fast horse, boom, I'm gonna do a bunch more damage than if I just walk up to him and I poke him. I didn't even do any damage because I wasn't even going fast enough. So things like an elytra flyby would be insane. Do a little wraparound, keep on beating him up. You can hold it out and hit him multiple times while you do so. It is awesome. But that is not all the spear has for us. There is also a new enchant coming to the game, which is known as Lunge, and it can go up to Lunge 3, and you can only get it on your spears. And the one that I would recommend putting this on is the wooden spear, because again, this is the fastest. This lunge only works when using the jab attack. And as you can see, whoa, a lot just happened there. I just got dashed forward and I lost 1 of my hunger. So if I go and I do a jab attack, I lunge super far and it is so sick, but it takes up an insane amount of hunger. I'm already down to 2.5 little chicken bones. And as you can see at the very bottom, this actually is taking up some durability, which when lunge was added to the game, it was not compatible with mending. But if I come over here, put my spear in, get a mending book, and boom, I can put it together and have mending on this. It is also still compatible with unbreaking and so on, but Jesus Christ, this is so fast. The only downside is you're gonna be having to eat a whole bunch, so if you're using it for PvP, you gotta have something really good saturation and really good. I can get off like 3, 4, 5, okay. I just got in 6 free lunges without having to eat a single carrot. That's how good the golden carrot saturation is. Okay, thank you, audience. Thank you so much. I'll be here all year. And of course, you don't always have to craft these spear. You can find them in loot tables around your world, and you can even find some more rare ones like the diamond spear in things like end cities. And of course, in the nether, you will have to watch out for piglins that hold golden spears. And if you use the charge attack on 5 mobs simultaneously, so if they're all like standing in one block or something, you will get the new advancement, Mob Kebab. And oh my god, it's so satisfying to do, I swear. But moving on to our next edition, we have the Parched. Now this guy is a skeleton variant, only spawning in desert biomes, taking up like, you know, a percentile of the normal skeleton spawn. So you will be seeing these guys. They're basically like husks, but for skeleton form. And they're so sick. They can drop arrows, weakness arrows, and bones, along with, you know, like things like the bow and arrows or any armor that they're wearing. Now you might be like, whoa, that's kind of up. Weakness arrows? How am I gonna ever kill these guys? Skeletons are already like the bane of my existence. Well, don't you worry. I am going to be demonstrating why this is not OP and why nobody should be alarmed. So, little room, don't try this at home, kids. The Parched shoots a lot slower than normal skeletons. So this guy shoots and you can just kill him just like that. Oh my god, he's a little tanky. Okay. There we go, and he dropped me 2 bones. I didn't get lucky this time, but yes, weakness. So instead of maybe having to brew like a bunch of potions to transform like zillagers, maybe this could be a way, like get a Parched to spawn in and just shoot the zillagers for you so you don't have to sit there brewing forever and then give them a golden apple. That'd be so cool. And of course, these guys do not burn in the sun because, I mean, heat is like their best friend. They love the heat. So be careful for these guys when you're walking around your next desert biome. And one of the few places that the Parched can actually spawn in the desert biome is on the back of a camel husk, a new camel variant, which is actually an undead camel. We'll see it's like rib cage in here. So sick. I have been calling the camel husk the Hamel just because I think it sounds so cool. It's like a little nickname for it and I love it so much. On their backs, they will spawn in with 2 riders, and one of them will be a husk with a iron spear that can charge attack you and will come after you. And of course, this Parched on the back of it. These camels cannot be bred, but they can be tamed. They have the same UI as a camel, and you can put a saddle on it. You can walk around with it. It has the same animations. Of course, I have these guys with no AI, so they don't go on and wander and ruin my display. But their favorite thing in the world is rabbit's foot. And if I spawn one in right here, you'll see that he's actually attracted to the rabbit's foot and will follow me around. Now, he won't be getting any love hearts or anything from this. So if you don't have a lead or anything like that and you manage to find a rabbit and kill it and get a rabbit's foot because you're that lucky, then maybe you could have this guy and just walk him all the way home. There is a new command, which is the Stopwatch Command. So there's 4 different things to this. It is create, query, remove, and restart. So if I do create, then you can name it whatever you want. So I'm just gonna do video time. We have now created a stopwatch called video time, and I'm gonna go stopwatch, and we are gonna do query. We're gonna figure out what the video time is doing while it's running. So boom, and you'll see that that has been running for exactly 13.722 seconds. So the command basically just stacks up exactly how much real life time, not game ticks, you have been on a world or otherwise for. I have another one here called test run that's been going for a while now. Apparently it's been going for 84,000 seconds. And that's actually 23 hours of real life time. So this could be a better way of judging time. Instead of having to look at like a day counter or something and trying to figure out like how much time did I sleep? How many days did I go through? You can just have the stopwatch command and it will straight up tell you exactly how much time you had the world open for. Okay, but I have to address the elephant in the room. This Warren guy has been watching me intently to let me know that the creative spawn egg inventory has now been reorganized. So now it's actually organized by all 3 of the biomes, the overworld, the nether, and the end. And they have little categories for the overworld stuff. So we have farm animals, mounts, pets, wild animals, aquatic animals, miscellaneous animals, such as like the sniffer. We'll have our golems, our villagers, undead mobs, spiders, monsters, and illagers, which to me, I feel means that they're going to add in a whole bunch of new mobs soon, because why would they do this? They changed all the spawn eggs so that they would be a lot more recognizable, which I think is honestly amazing. I really, really like this. I'm not really one for speculation, so let's move on to the next feature, which is the zombie horsemen. And hello, Mr. Zombie, yes, shake your hand. Hello, hello. So zombie horsemen that have a, spear-wielding zombie on top of them, and these zombie horses will now spawn in savanna and plains biomes at night. It's a really low chance, but they will spawn in with a zombie holding an iron spear. And once you kill that zombie, it will become neutral. And once you have some type of horse armor on it, it will not burn in the sun, because if it's naked, it will burn in the sun. All right, let's tame this guy up, which you won't have to do in survival when you see him. Come on. No! No! Yes, okay, cover him. Cover him. Oh my Jesus. Get in the water. Go to the water, Mr. Horse. Why would you do that? Okay, don't go out in the sunlight, mister. But you will be able to find this guy in survival mode now. And unlike the skeleton horse here, the zombie horse will not actually sink to the very bottom. Because as a matter of fact, all horses aside from the skeleton horse can now swim on top of water. I'm not getting dismounted. I'm not doing anything. The zombie horse also has that kind of same mechanic. It cannot go underwater like the skeleton horse. Imagine you're riding around on your horse and you see a zombie horseman out in the open. You can just blah and hit him with the spear and he'll charge back at you. It's so sick. And not only can horses go on water now, but there is also netherite horse armor. Oh my God, yes, yes, do the neigh, neigh, majestic neigh. And in order to craft it, you will need a smithing template and a netherite upgrade and netherite ingot and diamond horse armor. But once you put all those together, you will be able to craft netherite horse armor, which has very, very good stats. It's got 19 plus armor, 3 plus armor toughness, and 1 plus knockback resistance. So your horse is going to be living a lot longer with this. And now that I've showed you guys the horse update, we have a new mob to talk about, the Nautilus, which was showcased in Minecraft Live. So that is what the new spawn egg looks like. And let me just turn this guy to the side. Look at his little eyes. Oh my God. One little eye, and then he's got these little things. Now these are actually based on the real life Nautilus, which like a lot of things underwater is like super different than what we see above water. But over here, we've got its undead brother, the zombie Nautilus. Ooh, and that is the spawn egg right there. It is so cool to see that it's got like a bunch of like algae on it here, and it's got like a diamond eye. Oh my gosh, and this guy's shell is obviously very decayed, and they have the same spawning mechanics. They will spawn in any ocean, but they will only spawn at night. And oh, I see the rider over here. This guy is going to be riding one. A drowned with a trident will always spawn on top of the zombie Nautilus. And once you kill that drowned with a trident that will be on top of this guy, he will become passive and you don't have to worry about him, but be careful, since he is undead, he will burn in the sun. And of course, it goes without saying this, but these guys are water creatures. Don't have them above land for too long because they will suffocate and they will die. This is the coral zombie Nautilus. Oh my God, look at him. So cute. Okay, so these guys have a bunch of coral on them. It's a different texture. It is a warm variant because these guys, oh God, these guys only spawn in warm ocean biomes at night with a trident wielding drown on top of them. So yes, it is super rare to get these guys to spawn in. But look at it, it's so worth it. It's so cute. Stop dying! Oh my gosh, but these guys aren't just here to act cute. See on my right side here, we have Nautilus armor. We got copper Nautilus armor, iron Nautilus armor, gold, diamond, netherite, and of course our handy dandy saddle, because you can tame these guys and actually ride them in the water. So let's go over to our chest here. Boom. Now, first off, you're going to find these Nautilus armors in structures. So you can find the first three, which are the iron, the copper, and the gold. You can find them in shipwrecks, you can find them in buried treasure chests, and so on. But some of the more rare ones, like the diamond Nautilus armor, is actually only obtainable in more rare structures, like the end cities. And they might even spawn in like the deep dark. I'm not actually entirely sure, but I think that that would be a really cool thing to find down there. You can jab the warden and run away. And the netherite armor does not actually spawn in naturally. You have to use a netherite upgrade in order to get it. But before we can ride them, we actually need to tame these guys. So you're gonna wanna get either a normal pufferfish or a bucket of pufferfish. And let's go in the water. You're gonna just click on them and they will get some love hearts. And unlike the Nautilus here, these zombie Nautilus can actually not be bred. So however many of these guys you find, which I haven't been able to find a real one like out in the wild yet, that is it. If this guy dies, he's just dead. You can't make like an infinite amount. Like you can keep breeding up these guys with pufferfish if there's like 2 normal ones, but the zombie, once it's gone, it's gone. I should be able to ride you now. There we go. We have a lovely little inventory, so let's just slap on our saddle and let's slap on that armor. Now you'll see at the top right of my screen, I'm actually getting an effect, which is Breath of the Nautilus. And you can't see Breath of the Nautilus in the Nautilus menu, like there is no effect going on here. But if I get out of here and I look really quick, there it is, Breath of the Nautilus. Which, what that does is I'm in the water, my bubbles are going down, but when I hop on him, my bubbles are going to stop going down entirely. But I still have all of the mining fatigue that you would get if you're underwater. And I think that this is good for things like going around, you know, I'm swimming a little bit faster than like a normal boat. There is another hidden thing about these guys though. If I hit my spacebar, you will see at the very bottom, I have a meter pop up, and that's actually for a dash. These guys have a very similar dash to like the regular camels, and oh my God, it's so good. Look at me, I'm gonna jump out the water. Oh. And of course, the zombie Nautilus and the coral zombie Nautilus, they also have this feature. So it's not just this normal one, but be careful when you're using this because you can hop out of land and oh my God, look at how slow this guy's going. And he will eventually suffocate. So let's get him back in the water before he does that. There we go, okay. So this guy isn't tamed, but if I was to go down here and I was to punch him, he'll use the dash attack on me. And just like that, any mob that ow, I'm getting double teamed. Freaking pufferfish. Leave me alone. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Alrighty. And they won't just attack me, like just because I punched him. If there's like a skeleton or a drown with a trident or anything that attacks it or like accidentally hits it, it will come after them. And I don't have like a really fancy section for this because we're gonna get into the more technical side of things now, but there has been a major overhaul to the video settings. Now there are 3 main sections being display, quality and performance, and preferences. And if you're going through here and don't see some of the older options, make sure to actually check your accessibility settings because some of these have been moved in here. But the main thing here is the quality and performance section. So we now, instead of custom, have presets and you can slide them and it will update how your game goes. It'll affect some of these entity distance sliders. It'll affect some of the anisotropic filtering and stuff like that. So if I want it on super fast, you'll see it turns off anisotropic filtering. It lowers my improved transparency, lowers cloud distance, and so on. But if I have it on my custom, oh crap, it didn't turn back. I gotta fix it now. Hold on, minimap levels 4. And if you have played Minecraft before, like on another version, then this custom one will save over all of your pre-existing settings, so don't worry about that. But the main thing that I wanted to bring up here is the anisotropic filtering, because there are 3 different modes, and this basically makes the game less like blurry or like pixelated from far away. But this does make your game a little bit laggy, so if you have a lower NPC, don't mess with this, just play with it off. You can turn it off, you can turn on RGSS, which is just a shader method. And another thing that is going to be very, very noticeable when you load into any world whatsoever, or load a new dimension for that matter, is going to be in preferences. And it's going to be this new chunk fade feature. And it says how long in seconds chunks should fade when they're first rendered, if at all. And the easiest way for me to show that off to you is actually loading into the world. You will see this chunk fading in feature. And I actually I really dig it. I really like it. It's so good. So as I'm like flying or something, you'll see that these slowly fade into view. Instead of just randomly spawning in, normally when you're playing Minecraft, you just get these random like boom, boom, just like that. It like loads in big blocky chunks. But with this on, it kind of like fades in a little bit more naturally and it kind of flows better with Minecraft. Ah, there we go. That's the stuff. That's the stuff. Oh, I love that. And not only are video settings changed, but also the music and sound setting. And in the last major update, this music frequency and music toast buttons were actually added in, and they have changed this again with a little bit of quality of life update here. So instead of music toast being when you're in the pause menu or when you're playing the game, there's actually a way now to only make this play when you're in the pause menu. You'll see Aaron Sheriff Watcher is playing, but while I'm playing the game, it won't. So if you're in your world and you hear some music you like, you can go, wait a minute, what is that one? Oh, Aaron Sheriff Watcher. And there is a big change for another command. The /Gamerule command has been completely overhauled. And for some reason, they decided to change like literally everything. So I'm gonna go on a list here and I'm gonna tell you guys what all of the old ones are and what the new one is now, because I was struggling for like 20 minutes to figure out some of these. Announce advancements is now show advancement messages. Command blocks enabled is now command blocks work. Command modification block limit is now max block modifications. Disable Elytra movement check is now Elytra movement check. Disable player spawn movement check is now player movement check. Disable raids is now just raids. And this one really stumped me. Do daylight cycle is now advanced time. Do entity drops is now just entity drops. Do immediate respawn is now immediate respawn. Do limited crafting is now limited crafting. Do mob loot is now just mob drops. Do mob spawning is now spawn mobs. Do patrol spawning is now spawn patrols. Do tile drops is now block drops. Do trader spawning is now just spawn wandering traders. Do vine spread is now just spread vines. Do warden spawning is now spawn wardens. Do weather cycle is now advanced weather. Max command chain length is now max command sequence length. Max command fork count is now max command forks. Natural regeneration is now natural health regeneration. Snow accumulation height is now max snow accumulation height. Spawn radius is now respawn radius. Spawner blocks enabled is now just spawner blocks work. And I don't know why they changed this. I have no clue, and I absolutely hate it. It's nonsensical to me. Another thing that's totally nonsensical, they have totally removed the fire tick command. So now instead of having do fire tick and allow fire ticks away from player, they've changed it to one command, which is fire spread radius around player. You have to set the value to 0, and that will stop all fire from spreading. And if you want to make fire spread even when the player's not around, then you have to set it to -1. Oh my God, Minecraft, you're making my head hurt. You're making my head hurt, Minecraft. Why another feature that I don't know what they're cooking up, and it's confusing me. And lastly, this is an update specifically for people that play on Mac. So Mac users, listen up. They have rebound the command button on your keyboard, and it has been automatically rebound to control. And you can change this in the control setting, but Minecraft has just changed it as the default setting. So just a little heads up, I played Minecraft first on PC on a Mac, so I got you guys. But Budz, I hope that I gave you like some knowledge from this video. I hope you learned something. And if you want to see my official, like, I guess, theme for Mounts of Mayhem, then check out this video on screen here. And if you want to watch my Let's Play series, then check out the other video here. But as always, Budz, remember to join the village today. It's only a click away. And super special shout out to all of our members, Aya Lilith, the Happy Tree Hugger, Kin Boshi, and Medulla Vods.